Welcome to the Family Oyibo podcast, where we talk about life, faith, family, and other random topics. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to the Family Oyibo podcast. My name is Sarah, and I'm here today with my dad, Isaac. And today we're going to talk about giving up, or I guess not giving up. Are you ready, Daddy?
Yes, of course.
I didn't even tell you what the topic was.
Yeah, you didn't tell me.
I don't know how you're ready, but...
Well, no, I have to be ready all the time. So what can I say? What can I say? Yeah. All right. Giving up. Here you go. All
Okay.
right. Let's talk about it.
So it's kind of inspired by your sermons, actually. But so I saw a post on Reddit. It was this guy... I can't remember what the actual topic was, but there's a comment that somebody left, and he said that growing up, his parents never taught him like how to manage finances. So he didn't figure it out until his late 20s. And I guess he went back to school and got some kind of degree in finance. And then he finally got all of his finances together and his life figured out by the time he was 40. But he said since he was 40, like he wasn't married because he was so focused on like getting his life together and his finances. And he felt like his life was over at the age of 40. I wanted to talk about that because, you know, there are some people, they have these like set timelines, I feel like, in their lives. And they feel like if they don't get things done at a certain time, that their life is over.
I think that's a very wrong way of thinking. Personally, myself, that's the way I feel. Mm-hmm. It's a very wrong way of thinking. You know, I think sometimes in society, people tend to say or think that when you get to the age 40, or sometimes they even make fun. They call it over the hill. Mm-hmm. You know, if I can remember.
50. That's 50. Over the hill is 50.
Even 40. I remember, some years ago, some of my co-workers, when they turned 40, and fellow co-workers, I gave them birthday cards. They gave them birthday cards that read over the hill.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So,
it's true, though. People just think you just have to have certain things figured out at certain points in your life. But I thought it'd be a good topic for you because, the whole trajectory of your life, you never followed traditional, timestamps in your life, I guess, because you were married by the age of...
I'm close to in my 30s. In my 30s.
Late 30s.
So, late 30s. So if I were to fall over the hill, then I would have said since I was getting married, in my late 30s, then, life was already over.
I know.
And I would have been over the hill for me and life would have been over. That's why I said a moment ago that it's a very wrong way of thinking. When you had to, put timeline, so in your life that if you do not achieve this at a certain age in your life, then it's going to be difficult for you to achieve it because you didn't achieve it at that particular age, in your life. It's a very wrong way of thinking, because you may not know what life has for you along the way. You may not know what God has for you along the way. God does not necessarily bless you at the age of 40 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60. Mm-hmm. That is not the way God blesses, you. That is not the way God blesses people. God doesn't have a particular timeline for Him to bless people. So to put a timeline because you turned the age of 40, at the age of 40, you did not put your finances together, and you turned 40, and as a result, going forward from 41, nothing will ever work for you regarding your finances. You can never achieve your financial goals because you did not achieve them before you turn 40. Therefore, from 41, nothing will ever work for you. I don't think so. A lot of people have achieved their dreams in life, even at older age. Even at older age,
true.
They have achieved their dreams in life because they refused, to give up. Along the way, they will not allow age, to get on the way. They will not allow age to become an obstacle, and rather what is burning in their hearts now, as a dream, as an ambition, which they have not yet achieved yet, that becomes a driving force. Not the age, but what is their passion? Where does their passion lie? What they intend to achieve in life. If they allow that to become a driving force, and I think rather than age, I think they will achieve their whatever goal they are pursuing in life. And if they do not give up along the way, I do not allow age to get on the way, to make them give up along the way. So that is my thought.
Well, can you give the listeners kind of a short summary of your life? Like, I mean, you don't have to go into detail or anything, but can you just kind of give people a brief timeline? Because I think a lot of the people who are listening might not necessarily know, because I think we talked about, how long you've been a pastor, but I guess what's kind of the timeline of your life if you're looking at just like kind of major life changes or something like that, like you became a pastor this time, you moved to the US this time, and you haven't really had, I don't know, it's like your life is kind of in two halves. Like you already did a lot the first half of your life, and now this time in your life, and now you're a TikTok star in your 70s. So, give people some kind of outline of your life, or I can try, and you can correct me if I'm wrong if you want.
Well, it's that's a very broad question.
I know.
Very broad. It's based on what we're talking about. For instance, it's a lot of life changes, and moving to the U.S., getting married, in my late 30s, and then moving to the United States, that was a major change. And I did not achieve my bachelor's degree until I came to America. And that is after how many years of not being in the classroom?
Yeah, that was in your 40s then.
Yeah, yes. Yes, in my 40s. That's why I said you don't determine what to achieve in your life necessarily based on age. If you do that, you can never achieve anything. You can never achieve your goals. You can never achieve your dreams. If you have to calculate it based on your age. You just have to calculate it based on your dreams, on your passion. So I have not been in the classroom, after so many years. As a matter of fact, when I got to the classroom or to school to pursue my bachelor's degree, after I calculated, it was 20-something years I had not been in the classroom.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 20-something years after not being in the classroom, and I didn't want to pursue any form of education. More so to sit in the classroom, with younger people. I didn't want to do that, and most importantly, I thought it was going to be hard, for me to even get my bachelor's degree. So
you had all kinds of obstacles. You had myself and Rachel. We were very small at the time, and then you were also working a full-time job and going to school.
Yes, I know. So I had a full-time job, and on top of the fact that I had not been in the classroom for 20-something years. And then I had a full-time job, and with two little kids, to take care of. So, it was not an easy thing to do. But I, as a matter of fact, the very first time I in the classroom, and this was an experience. I don't know if I shared this, in past a chat we had. But my English instructor, as soon as we got in there, and then he had not taught anything. He just said, bring out a sheet of paper and take a test. And he had not taught anything. And then, of course, you know the outcome of that. I got 0.
Yeah, pop quiz.
Yeah, pop quiz. I got 0. And I got mad at him. And with that, I said, and I was done, that I was not going back. I said, this is exactly what I'm talking about. 20-something years of not being in the classroom. I came to the classroom, pop quiz, I got 0. And so why should I go back? I say, my age does not allow me to do this kind of thing. I was not going to go back. No, but I went back. I was upset with my professor for not teaching anything and telling us to take a quiz. And but you see, when God orders our steps, and when God has something for you, He will make a way to make it happen. And this instructor, instead of getting mad at me, and rather he said, oh no, it's not that hard. No, he became my encourager. And then he told me, I will walk with you. And he actually did. This man took me aside, outside of the normal classroom setting, and devoted his own personal time, invited me to lunch and spend extra time with me in the classroom, and then teaching me, about English, about writing in general, and the English language and everything. And the end result, he encouraged me to make it through, college, and for me to get my bachelor's degree. And he encouraged me, and I became really proficient with the English. I don't know why she used the word proficient. Also,
I would say so. You speak better than some teenagers do, so there's that.
So anyway, but I almost allowed my age, to get on the way of my education. If I had, I wouldn't have made it through college. I wouldn't have had my bachelor's degree. So that's an example of some of the changes that took place, like you mentioned, took place. But
and then after that, then you started ministry here, because working a full-time job in the finance world. Then originally you transitioned into full-time ministry. So that was your late 40s, right?
Yeah, yes.
Mid 40s, late 40s.
Yeah, I think it was about the same.
Because 1999 was the official.
Yeah, 1999.
It was the official start date of the African Church.
Yes,
which then became the All Nations Church for everyone. Yeah.
So then I transitioned into ministry, still holding on to a full-time job. And still holding on to a full-time job, and at that time, and actually, again, I was going to pursue, my master's degree at that time. And all of a sudden, the passion to continue with my education, was already there, and I was going to pursue master's degree or to do computer programming. But I was going to, and I started taking classes in computer programming, but then the ministry came along, which really was my heart and my dream, to be involved in ministry. So with that, I decided to transition into ministry. So it was another transition, at that time. Which again was not an easy one to do, but with God's help, and also, so again goes back, not giving up on your dreams, because of age or whatever you are at, in life.
Yeah, because the African Church, it was the first large African church in Iowa. I think there wasn't another African church around that. And then eventually, the congregation grew to include more than just Africans.
Yeah.
So, so it was a really, I was talking to someone about it. I can't remember if it was a few months ago, but they're like, it was really like the foundation for all of the other churches that kind of came out of it. It was something that was really, really unique in the area. But you did that. You went to full-time ministry, and then, then the youngest one of my siblings was born. So there was four of us. You had a family of, six altogether, and then you were in ministry full-time. And then, so then after that, obviously other churches started branching off, and then the church kind of changed. And like I said, I don't want to get into like a lot of deep detail about things that have gone on in your life, but, eventually you had to go back into full-time work after being full-time in the ministry. And then with COVID and everything, we've had to focus more on online church instead of in-person church. And I guess with the shift to online church, is something that you've never really done before. I feel like COVID really, it really changed a lot of things, because, like, you don't use social media or technology for fun. You use it for work, but you don't really use it in the way that a lot of young people do. So, the transition to doing church in a way that's accessible to thousands of people when you're now in your 70s, and it's something completely new. But I mean, you're a natural at it, because look, now you have all these TikTok fans. And we're doing YouTube videos, we're doing Facebook, we're doing Instagram. But the point is that, a lot of people, I feel like when they face difficult things, or, when they get older and they're already comfortable with the way of doing things, would just kind of give up, I guess. But the thing is that you didn't really give up. You were just able to do guess what a lot of everybody's calling it pivoting now. With COVID, everybody's like, you pivot. But I mean, it's true. Like, you were able to kind of, look at the challenges that you were facing, and instead of giving up, you were able to find a way to do things differently, and to still do ministry, but do it again in a different way that, I guess more people are doing now, since COVID has been around for a while. But still, still do it differently, not just completely give up ministry because things got hard. So I guess, what helps you keep going when things get hard? Because I feel like it's a constant theme in your life. Like, you go through these things that are pretty huge and impossible, that most people, would force them to give up, or, just stop trying, or maybe take an easy route. Because, moving to a new country, that's hard. Like, who going to school in a new country is extremely difficult. People want to give up doing that all the time. Or, starting a ministry, that's incredibly difficult, because, like, the challenge is finding people, getting a church organized, dealing with paperwork, stuff like that. And, like, all kinds of family issues and issues just with people in general, having to go back to work in your late 60s. Like, what keeps you going? Like, why don't you give up? Or why haven't you ever given up? Like, seriously.
Yeah, it's well, number one, my faith in God. Yeah, my faith in God is key, to it. My faith in God is the key thing. I put my hope and my trust in God in everything, and I look up to Him in every circumstances. I don't usually look at what is happening around me. I look unto the Lord. And the Bible says, I lift up my eyes unto the hills, from where comes my help. For my help comes from the Lord, and it is true. So that is what I've always done. And then again, it said, the joy of the Lord is my strength, in the book of Nehemiah. And all circumstances, the joy of the Lord has been my strength. So, yeah, that is the primary key, of not giving up, looking unto the Lord, because I know God, like the scripture says, the Lord will never leave me nor forsake me, and then in the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, hence I can boldly say that the Lord is my helper, and God has been my helper, along the way. He helped me in my college education, like I shared a moment ago, to obtain a bachelor's degree, and that I did not give up. I did not give up along the way, as hard as it was, holding on to a full-time job and raising two little kids at home, and then going to school at the same time to obtain my bachelor's degree. Then I transitioned to doing ministry, and at that time still, having a full-time job and while doing a ministry and having a family, which was hard enough. But I did not give up because I looked unto the Lord to help me out, and then eventually came to do ministry full time, and of course the ministry was really growing and became more diverse, and of course, like you mentioned, many other ministries branched out of this this very ministry, and now we are doing ministry through social media, hopefully trusting God along the way, eventually, God will lead us to a different kind of ministry, and but still not giving up, and doing the ministry, even though ministry, has been through social media, something that I'm not used to, but now, I have to really recondition myself to do it, to still see that I'm doing what I love to do without giving up. So is looking unto the Lord, and to help me out in many ways, and not giving up in many circumstances that had happened, in my life, and also to looking unto God to help me transition to where He wants me to be. I remember one lady I ran into one time when I went to the hospital to visit, and I ran into this lady who knows me very, very well. And the first thing that came out of her mouth, and then she said, "You who does not give up."
It's true.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came out of her mouth at the hospital where I went for a visit. You that, I can't put it exactly, but you that never gives up, something like that, which that was, you that never gives up, you that never gives up. Then I was kind of shocked when she presented it. Then I looked at her, I smiled, I said, yes, I don't give up.
It's true, seriously, because I'm not going to go into, not going to expose your private life, but you've been through things, like I said, that most, break most people. And you still have a smile. You still go visit people. You still, you still have some kind of joy, even though, you should be bitter. I feel like anybody else would be bitter because, not only personal things, but being like, coming to Iowa in the 80s when there were like no Black people here, and
there were Black people, not that there were no Black people.
Not as many in my class in high school. I was one of 4 when I first started going there. One of 4, like, and yeah, but yeah, like I said, I'm not going into detail, but it's what keeps you from being bitter. Then is it kind of the same? Because, a lot of people end up hating people after you've been through some negative experiences, and people are so nasty and mean to you and do things out of spite. Like, eventually you kind of lose faith in humanity, I guess. And a lot of people just, they're like, I don't want anything to do with people. Because
but that is not me. So
I know that's not you, but why? How?
It's not me because I don't know how to explain it, but for me, I can relate to anybody.
You can.
You know?
You really can.
I can relate to anybody. I made up my mind to relate to anybody. I just my personal determination to relate to anybody.
I've seen it. No matter what they believe, no matter who they are, like
I will relate.
I've seen it.
I will relate. So this is the key. You know why I have in the office, in my workplace, and also I relate to anybody, and I'm friends to anybody, regardless of what. So I think it's just my determination to be able to relate, to all kinds of people without discriminating against anybody. And even if they are discriminating against me, I'm still relating.
I know.
I'm still reaching out.
Because you don't judge people. Yeah. You don't. I mean, everybody judges a little bit, but you don't judge people to the point where you just kind of write them off, I guess.
Yeah, I don't give up on people.
No, you don't.
No, so
you really don't.
Even as I don't give up on myself, I don't give up on people either. I think is part of the key why I don't give up. And I don't give up. I don't give up on myself. I don't give up on people. And I continue to still relate to people, and eventually, if you don't give up on people, and eventually you'll find out some of these people will turn around. God will use them to bless you. And eventually they will see very clearly. Though that is not the reason why, and not necessarily because you're hoping that someday they will turn around to bless you. That's not the point. You just do it, because that you love people, and because you are compassionate and you are kind, and you just love to reach out, to people. And so that is a different topic.
Yeah, a whole different topic entirely.
That's a different topic.
Yeah, but it relates to not giving up, because, that's another area that people give up. Like there's this other thing on Reddit. Reddit is like a social media platform where people just go and write stuff. There are some pictures, but it's mostly people just sharing opinions. And there's this one Reddit called Forever Alone, where people are they've given up on everything and everybody. And they just go on there and talk about how they're going to be alone forever. And it's so sad. But, there's thousands of people out there like that. Like people don't just give up on a career, but people might, give up on themselves, give up on other people. So I think it's good and it's important to talk about not giving up, because, people are always told you have to have a good career, you have to have a family, you have to have this and that and this and that. But, a lot of people find it hard to find that encouragement to keep going or find a reason to keep going. So...
yeah, the topic of not giving up is actually it's very broad now.
It is broad.
There's so much there, not giving up on people, not giving up on career, not giving up on your family, not giving up on your friends, not giving up on your dreams, and so it's really very, very broad. And I just talked about my not giving up on my education. That was my education, which, and of course, and then of course not giving up on ministry, and not giving up on friends, and not giving up on friends. And so there used to be some years ago a co-worker that when I came to the office, I would say, good morning, and he or she would not respond back to me. And you have those kind of people sometimes.
Yeah.
And then this individual became promoted, and when I heard about it, I quickly sent a very nice email to this individual, congratulating this individual. Wow, no, congratulations, so exciting. And that, you just received your promotion, congratulations. Remember, this person never responds to my good morning. And here I am sending a very nice email to this person and congratulating this person. This person read my email, responded back to me in a very kind, nice way that I never expected. Cut long story short, this person became one of my best friends.
Of course.
Yeah. So
yeah, I would love to interview your coworkers sometime, honestly. Just go on a tour of all the people we've worked with. Because seriously, like, you bring people food, you walk into the office, you go say hi to everybody.
yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. So, you don't give up on people. I know I'm not saying, I know some people will make life really difficult for you, for sure.
Yeah.
Really make life difficult for you, and also. So, but, as a child of God, and, that's why I say it's a whole topic,
Yeah, it is.
differently, and also. Why talking about this, I'm also saying allow people to take advantage of you. But that's why I say it's a whole topic differently. You can't just sit there and allow people to take advantage of you and trample and step on your head either. No, that also is not a good thing.
Yeah.
So.
Because with me, I struggle with that. I struggle with figuring out, when am I being too nice or when to put up those boundaries with some people? Because people will. There are some people who will completely take advantage of that and they'll just walk all over you.
Yeah.
So how do you know? What would your advice be for some
when people, there are some people who are just takers, take advantage and takers. Take advantage and how they do take from you, and that kind of thing. So, as I said, it's a whole, different topic, So there has to be a place where you have to draw the boundary so that you don't have, lynches all around you,
leeches,
So it's, but not giving up on people, by that means, you never know. Some of the potentials, that are there on the individuals you are giving up on. And there could be a number of reasons why you may want to give up on people sometimes. That is why I said, it's a different topic to talk about, and also, sometimes you give up on people because you just write them off. You write them off, but the people you're trying to write off, God may not have written them off, and God doesn't write off people. You might find that they might turn out to be, might turn out to be, the meeting the expectations you never expected, that they could ever achieve in their lives. That's why you don't give up on people. So, and like that, and you don't give up on your dreams or anything. You pursuing that, using age as a reason. To give up, because that is where we started from. You shared the story of this gentleman who said because he had not put all his finances together at the age of 40. When you turned 40, you thought life was already over. So the topic of not giving up is and not using age as a reason to give up on anything. So and to put it this way, age should not be a reason to give up on anything, either on your finances or on your dreams, on your career, on your education. Do not allow age, to get on the way. In fact, there is a scripture I would have loved to use. You know, and that is the story of I think the story of Caleb, of Caleb in the book of Joshua. Caleb said, no, at a certain age, when they went and spied the land, and 12 of them were sent to spy the land, and only himself and Joshua came back with a good report. The other 10 came back with an evil report. Many of them perished. But there was the land that was given to Caleb, and is it at the age of 85? Caleb mentioned to Joshua that he was still as young or still as strong, as he was when he was at the age of 45 also, to possess his inheritance.
How do you remember these little stories? I remember the story of them spying. I don't remember that story though at all.
Yeah, it's in the book of
in the book of Joshua.
Joshua, in the book of Joshua, I think Joshua chapter 14 also. Now the men of Judah approached Joshua at Gilgal, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, said to him, "You know what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, at Kadesh Barnea about you and me. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land, and I brought him back a report according to my convictions. But my brothers who went up with me made the hearts of the people melt with fear. I, however, followed the Lord my God wholeheartedly. So on that day Moses swore to me, the land on which your feet have walked will be your inheritance, and that of your children forever, because you have followed the Lord my God wholeheartedly." Verse 10, "Now then, just as the Lord promised, he has kept me alive for 45 years, since the time he said this to Moses, while Israel moved about in the desert. So here I am today, 85 years old. I am still as strong today as the day Moses sent me out. I am just as vigorous to go out to battle now as I was then. Now give me this hill country that the Lord promised me that day. You yourself heard then the Amalekites were there, and their cities were large and fortified. But the Lord helping me, I will drive them out just as he said."
How did you remember that? My goodness. It's a perfect illustration though. 85 years old. And he's gonna go get a new home, new land, and just start over.
Yeah. That's exactly what.
Start his life again.
Yeah, that's exactly.
At 85.
That's all we have been talking about here. This is it. There's a scripture to it. There is a scripture to it right there. You know,
scripture for everything.
At 85, he said he was just as strong. He said he was just as strong as when he was 45. And he's ready to drive out the Amalekites at the age of 45 for him to possess his land and his inheritance and achieve his purpose and his dreams at the age of 85. As strong, as vibrant as he was at the age of 45. So you do not allow age to get on your way of achieving your purpose. You know, Caleb here is a good example. You know, Caleb do not allow age, to get on his way. He went to Joshua. He said, "I am just as strong as I was as when I was at the age of 45. If you look at yourself that way, that you're just as strong at your present age compared to where you were when you were very young, then you will not allow the dream to die."
Well, people got a whole sermon in this episode. We weren't planning on that, but but it fits perfectly with the topic.
You will not allow your dream to die.
Honestly, I think that's a good stopping point. I think that just covers it, Daddy.
Then you not allow your dream to die. Be like Caleb. And don't give up.
Don't give up. Well, that's it for today's episode. If you have any other questions, I guess about faith, or if you need life advice or anything we talked about today, feel free to send us an email. I'll put the email in the description below, or send us a message on whatever platform you're listening on. But that's it for today's topic. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Okay, bye. Talk to you later.